All right, thanks so much for having me here today. I'm so excited. So as a young person today, you have more power to change the world than any generation before you has ever had, ever. And I think that as students, we care about more than ourselves, and we want to make a difference. But it can be hard to know where to start, or how to take your ideas and turn them into reality. I know as a 19-year-old girl, I am told all the time that my peers and I will be the leaders of tomorrow. And while I'm sure this is meant to be a compliment, it always left me wondering, why can't I do something today? And this question drove me to take action, and I quickly realized that you can really never be too young to make a difference. So, to give you a little bit of background about me, my passion is twofold. I care a lot about helping underprivileged adolescent girls, and I care a lot about getting you guys to take action to address the world's greatest challenges. So to address the first, I'm quote-unquote a youth champion for Girl Up. It's a campaign of the United Nations Foundation that works to mobilize girls here in the US to help our counterparts across the world. Specifically, we work in Liberia, Ethiopia, Guatemala, and Malawi to ensure that girls everywhere are healthy, safe, educated, counted, and positioned to be the next generation of leaders. To address the second, I started iCAREweCARE, a social network for social good, which I'll talk about a little bit more later. But being a youth champion for Girl Up has really reminded me that age is no factor in your ability to affect change. Take one of my co-teen advisors at the campaign. She has hosted awareness-raising events, fundraisers, bake sales, put together a walkathon. She's raised $36,000 for Girl Up. And she's spoken on panels everywhere around the world. She's encouraged so many girls to get involved in our campaign. And she's 14 years old. Then take Shravani. She was 7 years old in India when she challenged traditions, educated herself about her rights, and built up all the self-confidence she needed to challenge her parents and go back to school, even though they weren't letting her go anymore. Now, she's 15, and she's the president of a children's rights group fighting to end child marriage, including her own child marriage. Now, these girls are obviously remarkable, but each and every one of you in this room has the same potential that they do. I might be passionate about helping adolescent girls, but you might be passionate about the environment or stopping global disease. Just by being young, you bring a new perspective to comparatively ancient world problems. You bring a youthful creativity that is currently undervalued in the world today. So as a generation, let's stand up. Let's prove that we aren't just the leaders of tomorrow, and that we're the leaders of today. So why do I have so much faith in us? Why young people? Because we have ideas. We have passion. We have a lot of time and unparalleled levels of energy. And for the first time ever, we can take all of our incredible traits and channel them through these new outlets. These crazy ideas, these things that we can use now to channel all of our ideas were just crazy thoughts 5 years ago. Things like Facebook, things like Twitter. We can use them to mobilize our friends and create a huge movement around something that we really care about. These are tools that the leaders of today barely understand, but they form the foundation of our daily lives, and we can use them to affect massive global change. It just takes someone like you to stand up and do it. When I was 16, I started iCAREweCARE. It's a nonprofit that leverages social media for social good. My idea was that we could help students find people that care about the same things that they do, and they could find opportunities to address the challenges that they really care about. So if you really care about education, you could go on our service, choose that you really care about education, and find the local opportunities that address what you're actually interested in. And then find your friends that care about the same things, and we'll see where they're volunteering, and start going together. Because if you're going to volunteer, you might as well enjoy the experience and keep doing it for the rest of your life. Already, there are 5,000 students from all over the world talking across geographical, talking across political borders, and discussing how we can work together to solve world problems. I know that I was lucky growing up because my parents never let me believe that age was a barrier to success. But as a society, we need to stop telling students that they're too young to address real challenges, because that often leads us doing nothing. So I challenge you all to go home and show the leaders of today that they should listen to us, that they should include us in the international agenda, foster our ideas, have intelligent conversations with us, and encourage us to take action. I think they'd be surprised at what you could all accomplish. To all of you, never let anyone tell you that you're too young to make a difference. You guys are obviously passionate, brilliant young people who chose to spend their weekend here learning about how to change the status quo. There's no reason why you should wait to change the world. You might fail along the way, but that's okay. Failures are simply a stepping stone to success. And the earlier you start, the more stepping stones you'll have, and the greater your success will be. So now, from my completely unqualified perspective, I'm going to give you my 5 tips to turn your ideas into action. First, know your passion. I don't mean to just find it, I mean to know it. Learn about the issues, understand the people it affects, understand the people who are already challenging them, and talk to them about it. 2, connect with local organizations. Get involved with the people who are already addressing these issues. I promise you that you're not going to be the first one. Talk to them about what their barriers are and how they're addressing those barriers. Explain why you care about these issues and start to take leadership roles. Third, raise awareness. You have 2 ways you can do this. Like I was saying, we have awesome tools at our disposal. These tools allow us to mobilize huge groups of people around issues that we really care about. And second, you can physically bring your community together as well. Use incentives, use word of mouth, use social media, or whatever it takes to bring people together, just like it's happened here, and share ideas. Talk about how you can really affect change. Fourth, capitalize on your strengths. A lot of times we focus on what we're not good at, but if you focus on your weaknesses, you're not helping anyone. For example, say you're hosting an event, and you're good at public speaking. Then don't try to design the invitations, don't try to do the logistics. I promise you that there's someone who's good at that as well. Contrary to societal expectations, you don't have to fix your weaknesses. Those are other people's strengths. And together, you can build great teams. And 5, don't be afraid to challenge tradition. This was something that I found really difficult. But tradition tells girls that child marriage is okay, or that they shouldn't go to school. But when tradition stands in the way of people's rights, we have to challenge them. Find ways to educate affected communities about why traditions can and should be changed. And always remember that barriers are no competition for true passion. If you really care about something, do something about it. Take action, and the world will thank you later. Thank you. I think we're going to do a Q&A now. So, yeah. For the UN Foundation, we have a program of youth champions, and our goal is to really mobilize the girls that are, we have over 300,000 girls that are involved with our campaign, and so my goal is to really connect them and inspire them and get them to take action. Yeah.
So for societal change, what would you say is the starting point to find out about the issues in the UN?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of different ways to go about it. For me, it was actually finding my peers who were addressing issues that they cared about. And I heard a story of a girl who wasn't allowed to go to school, who was married off when she was younger, ended up getting HIV, had like horrible story. And when we looked at the whole problem, if she had been given an education, all of that would have changed. And so for me, it was just kind of seeing how different problems related and understanding how you could step in and solve all of them. Yeah.
So can you kind of like talk about your experience with starting your organization, the iCAREweCARE?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of times we talk about all the things that it does well and all the ways that we succeeded, but there were a lot of challenges. I mean, it's not easy to start an organization. It was after my sophomore year of high school. I was 16, and we basically looked at this problem of all of these high school students who were mandatory, like they had to volunteer because they had high school requirements, but they would go places where they could just get their form signed. And it was just like a job, it was a requirement, and it sucked. And we were just thinking, why can't we change this? If they're gonna volunteer, they might as well enjoy it. And so we all got together and we were talking about how we could address this, and we decided that social media was a tool that we should utilize, but also connecting with organizations, and we came up with this great idea that required a lot of computer science and a lot of engineering, and none of us had any clue how to do any of that. And so one of the most important things I learned was the ability to communicate what you're passionate about. And so I would literally go up to every person I knew who could do anything with a computer and beg them to help me, explain to them why I cared about this and why it would make a difference. And I thought it was really, really important to get other people to be able to see your vision and see your mission and get them involved. So that was really crucial for us. And then I think it was just really talking about it a lot, like really being vocal about it, and just you'd be surprised at how many people want to help you, especially as a student. I mean, like the Disney Family Museum came in and were like, we want to host your launch event. We had amazing partners from the very beginning just because we were willing to talk about it and willing to stand up for something that we cared about. Yeah.
So just like a continuation of my last question, how do you, what do you see as the future of your organization?
My goal is to really get all high school and college students. I honestly believe that every single person in this room and around every single student cares about an issue, cares about something, that there's something bigger than themselves that they want to address. And my goal is to give them the opportunity to address that. My goal is basically to say, if you're interested in this issue, here's somewhere where you can go to address that, and hopefully for them to continue it for the rest of their lives. Anyone else? Yeah.
How can the people in this room help your organization now?
You can get involved with it. You can, so iCAREweCARE is actually run by awesome people like you guys. It's run by leaders in different communities. So obviously I don't know the best opportunities in every city around the entire world, but people like you guys know what's best in your community. So we have awesome leaders who basically sign up to start a chapter, and they put up their favorite organizations around the area. They get their friends to do the same thing. And what's great is that all you have to do is get your friends to literally just log in. And once they log in, you can see what they're interested in, and you can see where they're volunteering, and it's just an awesome ripple effect from there. So if you want to check it out, it's iCareweCare.org. You can like our page on Facebook if you want to as well. Yeah?
Does it require a Facebook account?
It does. So that's been something that we've been trying to figure out how to get around, but for us we thought it was really important for you to be connected to your friends, and that's really hard to do without your Facebook account.
Thank you, Priyanka.